Hello. You hear me, Clivey?
Yeah, mate.
Hello, buddy.
How are you, buddy? I just can't see your picture at the moment.
Oh, can't you?
Yeah, hold on. Yes, I can. I got you.
Hello, mate. Look at the yellow glasses.
Oh, bloody hell. Where are you now?
Beverly Hills. I felt like I seen out a pretty woman when I went to check in here. I feel like I didn't deserve to be here.
Well, probably true. When are you coming home?
Tonight. Okay. I've got 7 hours till I get on the plane.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, have a good trip.
Oh, look who it is. Oh,
Yeah.
my God, look at those glasses.
Miami Vice all over again, mate.
Beverly Hills Hotel, guys. Beverly Hills Hotel. Today I had lunch.
Everyone on. I've got a bit of a surprise for you, everyone.
Hello, Floozy.
How's it going?
It's kind of a little bit better than Jason Momoa. It's Dave Gray.
Good, Floozy. Hello.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Good.
Look at his glasses.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
living it up in Miami.
Oh, no. Thank you. All right. Good morning, everyone. As we start to come in, we've got a special guest today from $1 Million Listing, Selling Houses, Beverly Hills. It was hard to get him on. I had to negotiate with his agent for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Tom. You guys probably know him, Tom Cruise. Mate, I'll be with you in fucking 5 minutes. Just calm down. Yeah, sorry, guys. Sorry. It's very
I'll be in San Diego today, mate. Tom Cruise is premiering Top Gun 2.
Yeah, Goldie. I had lunch with Goldie Hawn today. She was behind me.
At Craig's?
At Polo Lounge.
I'm very jealous about that.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. I got a bit to say. Who's everyone on?
Yeah, we're not there. Give us a couple of minutes. It's only 1 minute past Australia. Good morning, everyone. As we come in, please, cameras on and on mute. Good morning, everyone. Cameras on and on mute, please. Okay.
All righty. We all on?
All right, we're on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, everyone. So we've got a special guest this morning. It's taken me a couple of weeks to negotiate for this guy to come on. He's the star of $1 Million Listing in LA and Selling Houses Australia. It's David Gray, everyone. Welcome.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Jake. You really appreciate it, mate. Really appreciate it. So glad to it's a little bit of, I'm having cocktails by the pool, but just happy to join you guys. An absolute privilege.
Take it away, David Gray.
All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is routine. So obviously I've been away 3 and a bit weeks. First 2 weeks, really good on food, stayed away from carbs. Obviously had a bit to drink on my holidays, but trained most days, and then got into New York and met up with my mate who's a lot of trouble, and then straight away out of routine. And then just made me I'm back at the gym now training and that. But it just shows me, especially when you're on holidays, how important routine is. I know we're going to talk about COVID. We're going to talk about the market changing. We're going to talk about interest rates and all that sort of stuff. But the things that we can control is our routine. So, Floozy, how's your routine going at the moment, mate? Your daily routine. Are we in sync?
Oh, I'd give it a 5 out of 10, Dave, at the moment.
What? Yeah,
There's
cool.
been a few distractions in life, but obviously
Yeah.
we're getting there. But
I get
think
that.
I think if you've got those distractions in life, I think routine probably becomes more important to continue on the rails the best way you can.
Yeah, cool. And mate, you found F45.
Yep.
And then what's the difference, mate, when you're in a good routine with F45 and your food compared to when you get out of that?
I think the biggest impact is mental, because if your body's in reasonable shape, I just think it passes through to the mental side of it as well.
Yeah.
And I think, and I know this sounds strange, but you go into a listing presentation, I think you deserve, I don't know, your mentality changes. You think you deserve the business at the end of the day because you're doing everything right outside of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think you're right. Like, I mean, holidays, it's really, really hard to stay in routine. You've got personal stuff going on. But I think what you just said then includes the apps. I mean, it's the hardest time, but when you're not feeling right or you've got distractions in your life, or we're going to go through maybe challenging market conditions, whatever it is, I think routine is just so paramount. So the first thing I'm going to do for all of you guys, and especially with Jake on your one-on-ones, is like be really honest around your routine. What's it like? What's your morning ritual like? You know, are you getting your call list on the day before? Are you sending your commitment emails? I mean, I know some of you do it, some of you don't, but I know that everyone that's performing generally submits to that commitment email and it goes really well. Routine. Next thing I'm going to talk around is energy. Cool. Who wants to talk about their energy? Cool. Great. Huge amount of energy. Love it. Brendan. Hello, Brendan. You there? Cool. I can see Broads. Broads, you there? Hello, Broads.
Hey, Dave.
G'day, mate. What do you do to control your energy, mate? What is energy something you think about on a weekly basis?
Energy for me is making sure that getting back into routine. So this morning I got out and went for a surf and just realised how out of routine I guess I was in terms of my fitness and level of fitness. I got my leggy stuck around a rock, nearly drowned, and it was like a real kick in the ass. And it's like, okay, we need to get back into routine. So for me, I think that just sort of booted me and going to get back into routine.
Yeah. So for me, and that I think the routine and the health and the fitness and all that sort of stuff really helps, I think. But I think at different times, there's times to sprint and there's times to relax. You know, obviously, you know, the Northern Rivers went through hell. That's not a time to push and go crazy because you know the forces outside of Mother Nature and everything like that are out of the way. That, or you know, e.g. if you've got a lot going on personally, that sometimes it's, you know, good to take your foot off the brake a little bit. But I think it's about managing your energy at different times and knowing where you're at. And there's certainly different times, you know, like for people that have been with us, especially 3 to 6 months, you know, your foot needs to be flat to the floor. There's no reason for that. But I think longevity, you know, it's knowing in the week, you know, when you're pushing and when you don't need to. So, Jakey, when I talk about energy management, what does that mean to you?
Just checking yourself every day. Am I on or am I off? And then how am I presenting myself to someone else?
And the power of energy, when you walk through the office, do you even need to talk to the team, or can you just tell by walking past their desk?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we can only imagine, guys, what our clients feel. And I don't think we realize that. So the other areas about any area management is to get into different hats. So one really, I think, important thing is, you know, and even while I've been away, just speaking to a couple, is managing their work life, their family life, their health and fitness. They're all different caps. So there's the Black Belt Mind, which I'll make sure you guys all get a copy of. But it's making sure that when we're in the different modes, so like one of the hardest things for me is being on holidays and actually trying to be on holidays, you know, especially now that I know I'm coming home, I'm itching to get back into it. So, and then Nessa's got a bit of stuff going on and she's starting to get a little bit anxious. I'm like, well, babe, you know, we're not on a flight for 7 hours, so we can get anxious by the pool, or you can, you know, enjoy your last few hours. So it's knowing what zone you're in. And I think it's really important that when we walk into the office, we're on. We know what energy we need to bring. We know what our clients need to see. When we go into a listing presentation, turn your phone over. Make sure you're not distracted. There's all those little things that really, really help. Make sure that you spend a couple of minutes getting fully in the zone before you get out of the car. when you're speaking to a buyer, it's slightly different interest to speaking to a vendor, speaking to, a different age limit, a different personality, a different disc profile. They're all different energies that we want to bring to the table. Smiles. What'd you get out of that bit of energy?
Yeah, look, regularly checking yourself, making sure that you're, on the ball. You're not just, floating around, going through the motions and not getting much done. So, switching on, saying, look, I'm in my zone. And yeah, just going from there, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. Who wants to give me a really honest feel of how they feel about the market at the moment? Someone that might be a little bit negative about it.
I'll say something, David.
Cool. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I think for me, honestly, it's probably a little bit of anxiousness around it.
Yeah.
At the moment, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Cool. So if I reckon that if I really, like from me owning the business, I'm sure Jakey, even something Jake said yesterday sparked interest, like around what other people are doing or what we're doing. And I think really in the next 6 months, it's really going to be, and that's why we spend so much time on it. E.g., once we're in a sales meeting again, talking about Headspace, the next 3 months is all going to be one on the Headspace. All going to be one, because every single agent is going to be feeling like that. But we went through a pandemic, and for most of you, you've written more money than you've ever written before. Like, you got to think of lots of other industries. I mean, you walk through parts of New York, you walk through parts of Sydney, Melbourne. So many other people have been affected by this pandemic that have never made a comeback. Us in real estate agents, especially regional New South Wales, even better if you even own property there, we've all been given, an absolutely, we've been kissed on the arse, really. It's been a really lucky period. So when we go from a lucky period to this period, now it's about us just being, one, grateful for the couple of years we've had, two, understanding this market, control what we can control. So we can control our routine, we can control our energy. And then the next thing I want to talk about, which is, I'm glad you're really honest, Alan, is the outlook on it. And we can just do our best, really. What do you reckon I mean by that, Al?
I think just get up, show up, and keep pushing, and just I think be honest, which is sometimes it's hard. You've got to have some honest conversations with your owners, I suppose. Sometimes that even that can breed some anxiety for me. But anyway, we got some good coaching. So,
and following the process, DG.
Yeah, and you know where the anxiety comes from. The anxiety comes from not actually the conversation. I think it's the build up, having the conversation. I think it's, once you've had the conversation, none of you ever come back and go, oh my God, like, other than you got a dickhead. Dickheads are totally different. All right. We've all got that situation. Sorry, I've got the men in black here, the boys. How are you boys, all dressed up? I thought they were coming to get me. Okay, so what am I even saying? I'll get back there in just a second. What was I saying, Al?
Anxiety, have the conversation, and you feel okay at the back end of it.
Other than the one dickhead, that we might get once in every 3 months that doesn't appreciate the conversation. Okay, it might be a little bit tough, but none of you ever come back to the office unless they're a real moron and go, oh my God, once you've had it, you feel relieved. But like, if as a vendor, you also feel relieved knowing what's going on. The hardest thing ever for a vendor, I can tell you, and I don't know how many of you have sold property, but it's when you don't know what's going on, when you don't get a call, when you don't get the full conversation, when you don't get the full truth. And when you live in hope, the longer you live in hope, say you list the property day 1 and you're still in hope day 21, and then day 22, you want to completely take the hope that I've had for 21 days, just take it down slowly. Oh, look, we really thought that we'd have, 9 people through open for inspection, or 10. We've only had 2 or 3. I haven't got an offer yet. Generally, we would have had an offer by now. Okay, cool. We've got an offer. It's not exactly where we want it, but the good news is at least we've got another offer. There's 3 or 4 properties, but there's still buyers out there. But it's having those conversations early. It's when you don't have it, I reckon the anxiety builds. And that's the one thing I've been saying. I said to Jake yesterday, is that if you guys aren't up to the time conversations, I said to Jake, in the next month or two, is I want Jake to be having them with you guys, or once I'm back, I'm happy to have them with you as well. But I know from a person that jumps in, like Jake might, if you guys get us in week 1, week 2, I feel really comfortable talking to your vendor. But if you get me in week 6 of your campaign and you haven't done your job, that's a really, like, you don't feel great. Is that right, Jake? If they haven't done their job week six or 7 and you're chasing your tail, it's hard work. Yeah.
100%. And then you actually look worse to your vendors, because then it's like you're bringing someone else in after 6 weeks. It's like, oh, what? They're giving up and they can't do their job.
So, and then just to finish off, guys, some of the lessons I've had, I mean, I've got to tell you, going to some of the places I've been really lucky. I've seen more crazy wealth. I mean, behind me, behind the pool, there's like the girls, I reckon they got $30,000 to $50,000 worth of jewelry on them, and they wouldn't be more than 20. Like, it's just absolutely insane. But I've got to tell you, like, you know, you get a little bit excited and you think, you know, you get caught up in it for a minute. But, you know, where we live on the coast and being in Australia, like the food, the environment, the people, everything, like the gratitude I have for wanting to get back home and get amongst it, we are truly, truly blessed. And I think sometimes, you know, we forget that, and we're really, really lucky. Cool. All right. Who's on? Okay, I'm struggling to see some of you. Cool. Rosie, what'd you get out of that today? Number one.
Routine for me is a big thing. I've been away for too long and I just need to get back into the routine, and it's taking a bit.
Yeah. And see what can happen there. And you know, I just talked about managing energy. Like, Rosie, you're pretty routine. If you go from 0 to try and be 100% of your routine, you're probably getting frustrated because you mightn't have the energy or you mightn't have the systems right to get it straight back. But if you just try to get back to 75% instead of 100%, you might get back to 100 quicker. And that's what I'm talking about, managing energy. Like, I even said to Ness, like, I don't know how I'm going to, like, I'm dying to get back to the gym. But like, if I'm really tired on Monday morning, I'm going to sleep in, but I'm going to go that afternoon. I might go for a walk. Like, I'm going to manage my energy to get back to 100%. Does that make sense? Does that help, Rosie?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and then,
not
like,
100%, 75%.
Yeah. And if you're meant to make, 20 calls, you know, on the first day back, you might make 5 and then make 7 and 10. We just want to manage our, because when we overload our expectation, we don't get there. Maddie King, what'd you get out of today?
Yeah, it's getting into routine, knowing who you're talking to with your buyers and vendors. With myself, like, I'm trying to get back into the gym and focus on that energy. For me, I'm finding it a bit hard at the moment because I've had so long off the gym with my arm and everything. Like, I'm feeling a bit tired because I've been going to the gym and it's using all my energy. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, if I keep on getting on, like, in track and keep going to the gym, that energy will, I'll get that energy back.
But then halve your gym time. You know what I mean? Don't punish yourself. Halve your gym time, because at the moment you need energy for your career. So it's like managing your energy. And this is what I'm talking about, energy. Like, where does that energy flow need to be? You know, at the end of the day, it's where you're going to make your money. So the gym's important, but if it's making you fully tired, just halve it, or soften your intensity a little bit. Lisa Dixon.
Hi Dave, how you going?
Good, mate. What'd you get out of that?
I think just believing in the process at the moment, and having those hard conversations. We've got to have them. But like you say, you've got to have some sort of a relationship with your client for them to believe you. So, yeah. But
also, Lise, it's also not you. It's facts. This many people went through your property. This many people like it. This is their offer. This is what's been sold. This is what's been listed. You know, and that's what we got to get to. It's not us. It's not us. And it's making sure that we've got the story and the facts. And that's where, you know, if you look at Lee Woodward, I mean, he's softened a bit, but I find him, like, if he was talking to me, I'm like, I know exactly where you're leading me, Lee. You're such a fucking salesman. You got all the lines. You got everything like that. Like, my body nearly closes up. But if Lee was in your house, the facts and everything he'd provide you, there's no way you could say no to him. Cool. Who else we got, Jakey? I can't see everyone. You want to ask a couple more, 2, 3 more people? And
cool. Let's go. Heath, what did you get out of today?
Thanks, mate. I sort of felt like I came in halfway through it, but no, look, definitely, look, energy. Yeah, I've been a bit down this, like in April, I suppose.
Yeah, I noticed. Your figures were down.
Well, no, I think it was rain, other things going through my head. So yeah, headspace is definitely where you need to be. You know, maybe.
I need to get the iPad because I was scrolling down the figures at the top leaderboard. I need an iPad to see where you stand. I mean, you carried on, you're going to be up there number one, but
it's all right. It's all right. So I'm coming back. I'm gonna flood the internet today with that 7 or 8 options. I think we're gonna. So that's good. Yeah, that's coming, mate. We're just gonna work out dates. We're trying to work around you. That's what we're trying to do. Thankfully, you're back next week, so we'll sort it out. No, it's look, definitely you got to try and stay clear, and you know, I think there's a couple of things I've got to change, a few things in my life, and I do. I've said it before, and I've just got to be man enough to do that. So if I can do that, I'll have heaps of energy because I have plenty. So see you next week, mate.
See you next week. Who else we got, Jakey? Two more.
Let's go to Brody.
Yeah, mate.
What'd you get out of today?
Yeah, I think being present in the moment, just realizing where you're at so that you can manage it, and just being honest with yourself and say, like, if you are at 70%, well, just manage it that way. Don't think that you have to be at 100% because you'll just fall in a hole. So just be aware of where you're at, present in the moment, and work towards the top, but be mindful of where you're at so that you you don't fall in a hole.
Yeah, and I think that, bro, that's absolutely perfect. But it's like, look at 70. 70, cool. That's a nice reflection. That's okay. Be kind and gentle to yourself, and then go, okay, cool. Like, what's going on? Like, obviously the disaster a little while ago, but generally speaking, if we're at 70, cool. Well, I'm at 70. What do I need to do to get to 72? Then 75, and then 80. But make those little steps to get a little bit better. What we don't want to do is then make excuses for why we're 70. Because we always, you know, I think we always want to have growth. You know, it's one of our values. But it's understanding that environment. And it might be, yeah, cool. All right, one more, Jakey.
Livey, what'd you get out of today?
Yeah, yep. I think at the moment it's preparing for the future, like preparing to react, not react to what's going to happen, react before it happens. So get prepared for how the market's going to change, get prepared to do your vendor meetings, get prepared to set the vendor at the first meeting because the market is going to change, and just be ready for it.
Yeah. So anyone, I'm just going to give you my view on interest rates, guys, my general view on interest rates. Fixed rates have already gone up way more than they should have gone up. It's already well factored in what's happening now. All right. Variables, you get the right variables. Variables actually went down a couple of months ago. Obviously, they're going up with a new rate rise, but variable rates are still very, very attractive. I've got a really strong feeling that these inflation figures, a lot of it is because of the influx since COVID, and I think they're exaggerated. And if you saw what Macquarie Bank came out yesterday, I urge you guys to read as much as you can at the moment and be really educated around this. But Macquarie Bank have basically said that in 2023, we might even see an easing of rates. So I think the rates had to go up. But to have a market between, you know, an interest rate of 3.5%, 4%, even 4.5%, is still unbelievable, even at 5%. So we're still in wonderful category for repayment of interest rates. So we're still in a really good time of market. And if you saw the thing Jay Sherman sent through, we've still had growth when interest rates rise. Now, interest rates only rise when the economy is going good. So there's still so many pluses out there. Obviously, we might use different facts for our vendors, but for us as investors or people that live on the coast, I also think there's going to be a real flux of people wanting to leave the cities again once interest rates and that happen. So we're still in the box seat. Like, I'll still be looking to invest on the mid-north coast in this current market. So there's a lot to have gratitude and a lot to be excited about, guys.
DG, 2 questions before you leave, please. I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
First one, what do you think you've learned while you've been away? You've been able to slow down a bit. None of us have really heard from you, which has been, you know, good, because that means that you've enjoyed your break. What do you think you've learned from that and having a break?
I'm only really relaxed. I only really started relaxing probably a week ago. So one, just how built up we get. So I'll be taking more holidays, but not as long as this. It was too long. It was too long a holiday, but shorter holidays will be really important for me. The imagination that I've had while I'm away. I've got so many ideas. Just even, I love design. So for, you know, the motels and everything that I'm doing, so much inspiration. Anything's possible, guys. Like, you know, when I see ego, and especially with some of our competitors, like, mate, I don't know if you know what a G-Wag, like a G-Wagon in Australia is between 350. Like every second car is nearly a G-Wagon. Nearly every car park I'm in's got Rolls Royces, Mercedes, Beamers, Ferraris, Lambo. Like the, you know, every day I'm going for a walk around Beverly Hills the last 3 days. The houses and the wealth is just insane. So for any of us to get ahead of ourselves and think we write $1 million or $2 million or we got X, like from a wealth point of view, we're very minute. Now I'm not talking about your value on the planet, but there's no space for ego when you live in Australia compared to the rest of the world. So it's really humbling. Where I'm challenged, which is interesting because brands are nice and the shops are nice and the clothes are nice. So it's easy to get caught up in that and actually seeing that and aspiring to it. But then also for a lot of you, I've been reading Daily Stoic and I love that form of life, you know, around, you know, what's our wealth and what we're giving back. So I think me coming back is that to appreciate and probably buy, you know, nice things every couple of months and appreciate them for doing well. But then, you know, my real focus is to get back and make sure I'm giving value to every single one of you guys as much as I can. So
great.
Yeah.
And secondly, let's end the meeting on a funny story that you've got for while you're away. Come on, DG.
Oh, there's a few I can't tell.
Yeah, no, an appropriate one, please. This is being recorded.
Oh, sugar. One we could say, Ness was in a sexy silver dress. All right, like anyway, she looked unreal. It was a birthday. We'd already been out to lunch. We get to dinner. We'd had a few drinks, and the polo players were there. Yeah, they all think they're God's gift. It was polo down in Miami, and Ness is looking great, bit pissed. Anyway, this guy, I found out later, he's 53. Comes straight up, starts trying to dirty dance with Ness. Anyway, I look at him. I'm like, who do you think? I'm like, mate, I don't know what you think you're doing. Anyway, he goes, oh, what, you're jealous? Like this? I'm like, mate, it's not on. Anyway, so then he gets 2 or 3 of his mates just around. So then he gets me in a conversation telling me how like non-jealous I should be and this and that. Meanwhile, his mate, he's asking me to take photos of him and Ness. I'm fucking red roaring, like absolutely. I'm like, are you pricks been to Australia? I'm just like, have you fucking seen Crocodile Dundee? I dead set was going to smash these 2 fuckers like so fucking hard. I said, Ness, we're fucking leaving. Anyway, I was like, red. Anyway, this guy goes, I'm famous. You must know I am famous. You don't understand how famous I am. You're lucky I am talking to you. I'm famous. Anyway, I Google him. He's got 1.2 million followers. He's married to an 80-year-old that's got $2.5 billion. Anyway, so that's just one story I can tell. The Vegas story, someone's got to buy me about 10 beers.
Yeah.
And,
that won't be happening now. Thank you. That won't be happening now. That can be another time.
All right, stay on, guys, if you can.
No. Everyone off. Enjoy the day, everyone. Off to work. DG, it was great to see you. We'll see you tomorrow when you're back in Australia.
Get into it, guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone.